Hey everyone, welcome back to Gail at Night. Today I want to talk about the difference between slander, libel, defamation, and free speech. Because apparently, a lot of people on the internet were either asleep or skipped school that day. And I'm not saying that as someone who's just reading about it, I'm saying it as someone who's lived it. I've been through the court side of it and the internet side. And let me tell you, they are two very different worlds. And for the record, in case you are wondering, I have never been sued for either. See, in court, you deal with evidence, procedure, and actual laws. Online, you deal with screenshots, sometimes doctored up screenshots or fake screenshots. You deal with hearsay and vibes. And the damage that comes from vibes can sometimes outlast the truth. Let's start with the basics. Defamation is the umbrella term, right? So it just means making a false statement that harms someone's reputation. Now, under that umbrella, you have slander and libel. Slander is spoken, things said out loud like a video, a phone call, or a public rant. Libel is written, things published, posted, typed up in a caption, or even in a storytime thread. They're both defamation. The difference is just how the lie was delivered. Now, here's where people like to twist shit up. They hide behind the First Amendment. I can say whatever I want. It's free speech. No, you can say whatever you want, but you're not free from the consequences of what you say. The First Amendment protects you from the government punishing you for your words. It does not protect you from civil lawsuits, social consequences, or accountability when your words harm people. So when someone goes online, makes false claims about a person, attaches their name, throws around accusations without proof, that's not free speech. That's defamation. And when it's deliberate and malicious, that's when it crosses into reputation destruction. Here's where things get frustrating and personal. You can go through a whole legal process. You can be proven innocent. A judge can throw out a case. You can have evidence, witnesses, and receipts stacked to the ceiling. But the internet doesn't update its opinion when the truth comes out. People believe the first version of a story they hear, especially when it's dramatic, emotional, and one-sided. By the time you clear your name, that lie has already been shared, clipped, and commented into digital permanence. And what's worse is the person spreading the lie knows that. That's the goal. See, there are people who don't want justice. They want control. They want to humiliate, discredit, or isolate you so you lose support. They'll use social media like it's a courtroom and hashtags like they're subpoenas. Because it's not about truth, it's about punishment. Now, I'm not a mental health professional. This is not a diagnosis, but I've noticed patterns. People who weaponize lies or false accusations often show traits that revolve around control, image, and manipulation. They don't just want to win, they want to erase you. And the way they do that is by making other people doubt your credibility before you ever get a chance to speak. It's classic projection. They accuse you of being what they are so that by the time you defend yourself, people already think, oh, she's just saying that because she's guilty. It's psychological chess. And if you've never been in that position, it's hard to understand how exhausting it is. Check this. In court, the truth still matters. Online, not so much. A judge will look at the facts, documents, timestamps, actual proof. But online, people scroll past context. They'll see one clip, one post, one rumor, and boom, you're branded forever. Even if the truth comes out later, people rarely share the correction. Nobody clicks on update. Turns out it was a lie. They move on. But your name doesn't. It stays floating in the algorithm attached to something you never did. And that's the permanent stain of defamation in the digital age. You can win in court, but lose in the comment section. What people don't talk about enough is the long-term impact. Even when you're cleared, you still have to deal with people who've seen the false story. Jobs look you up. New people Google your name. You walk into rooms where people have already made up their minds. You can't suit every tweet. You can't fight every rumor. And that's the trap. The crazy bitch who started it knows that the damage is in the stain, not the truth. Once your reputation is marked, even a lie can cast a long shadow. But here's the thing. That's why awareness matters. That's why I talk about it. Because silence doesn't protect you. It protects the liar. People love to say, well, if it's not true, why don't you just sue them? And I get it. On paper, it sounds simple. But in real life, it's not. First, lawsuits cost money. Real money. Lawyers, filing fees, discovery, court dates, it all adds up fast. And if the person who defamed you is broke, unemployed, or what they call judgment proof or indigent, you could win in court and still never see a dollar. You can't collect what they don't have. You know everybody online makes six figures until you bring them to court. Then you find out that not only do they not even have a good wig, their face is even a scam. It doesn't even match the profile pictures online. Then there's the emotional cost. Defamation cases can drag on. They keep you tied to the same person and the same lies for months, sometimes years. And for people like that, the attention is the reward. They thrive on chaos. They want the spotlight, even if it's a courtroom spotlight. So sometimes not suing isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's choosing peace over paying for a show. Now, that doesn't mean you let them get away with it. If the damage is real and they've cost you your job, your safety, your reputation, then yes, take that step. Take that ass to court. But do it to protect yourself, not to prove a point. Because the goal isn't to feed the fire, it's to put it out. And accountability isn't always a headline or a judgment. Sometimes it's documentation, consistency, and letting their own behavior expose them. The truth has a longer shelf life than their lies. You just have to give it time. Don't confuse silence with surrender. Sometimes walking away is the most expensive form of wisdom. So if you take anything from this, let it be this. Freedom of speech is not freedom to defame. Disagreement isn't defamation. Opinion isn't defamation. The truth may feel like an attack, but it isn't defamation. But when someone presents lies as facts to destroy someone's life, that's not just words. That's harm. And in the age of viral content, that harm spreads fast. We need to start treating online spaces like real life because they are real life. The things said online follow people into jobs, housing and relationships, even courtrooms. Your digital footprint has a long memory, and some people count on that. I'll end it with this. Sometimes the truth wins quietly. There's no viral moment. There's no big apology, no public correction. But the people who know, really know, will see you for who you are, not who you were painted to be. And as for the ones who built their whole identity around lies and performance, time always exposes them because lies have to be maintained. The truth doesn't. So protect your name, protect your peace, and never let the internet rewrite your story. Thanks for listening. I hope this video helps someone out there understand the difference between defamation, free speech, and the digital smear game. Because the real battle isn't just in the courtroom anymore. It's in the timeline. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be happy to hear from you. See you all in the next one. This is Gail at Night. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for supporting. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and set the bell to all.